What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Of course, the other day I did a video on the A$AP Rocky Rihanna Vogue cover. Now, that to me is very disturbing. It makes the brother look like he is the single mom or the mom and she's the husband leading him. And that's what I see as a masculine man. Okay? But I noticed that some single moms see it in a different way. And I want to talk about one particular lady here, marvelous.mama on TikTok. Now, the first thing I want to do is play what she saw on the A$AP Rocky video. And then I'm going to come back.
I'm obsessed with this whole cover and we just have to talk about it. First, let's just talk about like the elements that we see. Obviously, Rihanna looking amazing, but then you have A$AP holding their son. And the way that they're holding hands, she doesn't look like she's pulling him. He just looks like it's kind of like, baby, go do your thing, but I got you. I'm right here supporting you. Also, A$AP is kissing their son. Just like their son is just like the center of their joy and their bond. And like whenever, I have never, ever seen a picture of a couple just kind of like announcing their child where the mother's not holding the baby. Just truly showing like this is an equal partnership. This is, I as a father am not afraid to show affection. I'm here to show up for my child. Like I'm embracing my child. Like, yes. Now, Rihanna is a woman that everybody applauds for just being in her total femininity, in her strength, in her like equal like softness, in her just like in her energy. And a lot of men are just like incapable of truly embracing and supporting that. And the way that I have like, we've all just watched this relationship develop and grow and the mutual respect that they hold for one another. I'm obsessed with that because I'm like, I need that. And I think every woman, well, like a particular kind of woman, we feel like our strength, you know, it's almost like a hindrance for us to be able to be loved. However, honestly, this whole relationship gives me every single hope that I honestly never had. And it's very different than seeing like, I don't know, maybe a Beyonce and Jay in that era or like a Kim and Kanye, whatever, I don't know. Anybody else who you view as like being this international sex symbol and this strong woman, there's just something completely different about this particular scenario. Why? Because Rihanna's at the forefront and she's being celebrated, and we have A$AP that's just showing up. Like he's showing up and he's just happy. He's just happy to be there. Like even the tagline saying that she's reborn, for so many women, motherhood is like the end of their existence and their own identity. And she said, no, like kindly hold my Fenty because I'm about to show up in a completely different way. In the era of toxic male podcast, be an A$AP. That's all women need to shine. Just be an A$AP.
All right, guys, so you saw that, right? Let me just say this. This is a lady who's a single mom with 2 kids, okay? And I kind of want to get into her mentality because she had a really interesting video. I mean, I think she's a decent creator, but I want to talk about how she felt about being with an older man, just to give her mentality on another subject to see where she's at. And I want you to listen to what she has to say.
I think older women, you know, in my experience, you 30, 33, 35.
I'm 33 years old. And when I was 23, I was with a partner that was 15 years older than me, by whom I had 2 children that I'm no longer with. I just want to briefly share some of the things that he would share with me, by which I was impressed by. Being told constantly that I'm not submissive. Being reminded constantly that because he was 15 years older, then he knew better in every respect. Driving, buying groceries, pretty much anything and everything that we were ever participating in together or that I was doing, even when it was independent of him. Being constantly criticized for the way that I chose to wear my hair, wear my makeup, do my nails, clothes that I would purchase, the way that I would take care of my children, also in every single respect. Being constantly told that I was too loud, being told that I was a bad communicator, being told that I was overly dependent, being told that I did not use my resources properly to solve the problems that he himself had created in my own life. The impression did this make upon me when I did leave that relationship, do you ask? That I was unlovable, that I was unloving towards others, that I was pretty much a failure in that entire scenario, that there was nothing that I can ever do to satisfy a partner in my life. What was his greatest disappointment with me? He would oftentimes tell me that he did not understand how in the bed that I could measure up to him as a partner, but out of the bed that I could not. If you watch that entire video that I'm stitching, he goes on to compare women to being dogs. So if we go ahead and run with that analogy, when you get a young dog, that dog is a puppy. What is that puppy going to do? It's going to make a mess. It's not as well known. It needs to be trained. And that is what you are looking for. What these men don't understand is that when you do have a younger partner, there may be some things that that partner just does not understand or comprehend. Then you all turn around and use those qualities that they may be lacking or working on building against them to break them down and make them dependent upon you. As a 33-year-old woman, the things that I am carrying or the things that have now been impressed upon me by myself is understanding that everybody's opinion of you has nothing to do with who you actually are. What many men that are my age in their mid-30s or later have a hard time understanding or comprehending why women my age no longer want to be so consumed with their partner that they lose their own identity. If we're being very honest here, the issue is not the women that you are dating, the women that are in their 30s, the women that have learned how to fend and how to live for themselves. And for themselves, meaning for them. Once a man makes it now clear that he does not want me or he's no longer interested, it may be sad, I may cry, but guess what? I'm going to get immediately over it. Because now I have mastered detachment. And what you're upset about is that women in their 30s are probably not going to be chasing you down. If you're in your 20s, you're going to feel a lot more codependency to your partner. She goes on that interview to challenge him and says, so you want control? And he immediately says, no, I don't. Because we don't like to admit that that's the word that's being used or the scenario that's being played out here. But if you have a dog, if what you have is a puppy, a pet, then you indeed want control and you are being controlling over your partner. Men still do not understand the cycle of love begins with them. If they were just loving, caring, and understanding, then they would receive that back.
So clearly, that is her mentality, right? If you look at some of the stuff she's doing on her page, it's some twerking here and there. It's it's a lot of stuff that's on her page, I would say. Most men would look at and say, I'm probably not interested in something like this long term. I will say that, right? Now, with that being said, she says the way that she sees ASAP and Rihanna, she wish that she could find somebody like that with a relationship for her. And at the end of that, she said, like, the rise of these toxic male podcasts are on the rise. Be more like ASAP Rocky. And this is why a lot of these ladies are single, because they have no understanding of what a masculine man is interested in, and they say they want one, but they want a man to be somebody that they want him to be. And real men are not going to operate like that. Okay, either you're going to Rihanna. Like, no man is sitting around saying, I want to be exactly what you need me to be. That as a masculine man has opportunities, which is why you see there are so many single women with, as she says on her TikTok, heavy MILF energy and being single moms, because you don't understand, like, it's not a competitive attitude at all. So if you feel like there's a rise of toxic masculine podcasts, and some of them are, I won't begrudge you, it's because of attitudes like this. Entitled, not understanding the value that you need to bring to some man, not understanding any level of accountability. And a man doesn't want to be a woman. He wants to be a man. He doesn't want to be led. He doesn't want to be fit into what your box is. And a man that can be a man is not going to do that. Period. Which is why you will see so many ladies being perpetually single, because you're not even willing to compromise on that. But it's not a problem, because the men who are successful are going to find somebody who can actually be what they need them to be. And men are always going to think like that. I don't care how liberal society gets. You're not going to get a man to fit into your lifestyle that's worth being there. It's not going to happen. At best, there's some level of compromising, but you need to step up to the task a lot. And no man's going to step up to the task for you because you want him to. That's a dream. And many ladies are there. They're living in a lot of delusion in the dating world. And that's not how it works. Any guy who's doing very well, why do you think there's a rise of passport bros? Or why is there the rise of interracial dating? And why is there the decline of marriages, especially in these urban communities, which she's Afro-Latino, I would consider her to be in the black community? Because nobody's going to put up with that kind of mentality. Not a man that can do well for himself. Like, give me a break. It's just not going to happen. So if women want to believe that they can find somebody like an A$AP Rocky, you need to be a Rihanna. Plain and simple. And there's a lot of competition for any kind of man that has some capability of providing or doing very well. Very much competition in the States, around the world for that guy. He's probably not even there. So if you know that, and if you're not going to be, if you're competitive, maybe you have a shot. But if you're not competitive, and if you're not, and dating is a free market, more or less. It's the only free market in the United States because dating is a free market without government intervention. And whoever is the best candidate wins. And it gets tougher as you get higher. So, long as ladies can understand that, it's okay with me. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.